That was a good salad. Who's gonna do the dishes?
Hi, I'm Ho Shun Ho. I'm living in Vancouver, BC, Canada, unceded territory of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I am an immigrant to Canada from China.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea coming to you from Victoria, but more importantly known as unceded Akwesasne territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, and I am an immigrant from the United States of America.
Welcome to Dishes Out. We're here to respond to ridiculous comments, the naysayers, and the negative stereotypes.
Yes, we're not going to let harmful and hateful comments have the last word. We're dishing it out, spilling the tea, and breaking down the words that divide, harm, and hurt.
So join us every Friday for a new episode.
Dishes out. Out.
Welcome back to Dishes
Welcome
Out.
back. Dishing it out.
New
Yes.
dirty dishes need to be washed.
New dirty dishes. They do need to be washed. Goodness, Ocean. Oh, the comments, not the people, are dirty. This is just
I can't believe some of these people kiss their mother with that mouth. What's the thing they said?
Yeah, I know. I think we need some soap in that mouth. Did you ever have to eat soap when you were a kid? If you told a lie or anything? Was that ever like,
Oh, really?
punishment?
No, that's not a thing.
No. That was a thing for me. If my parents thought we were lying, they'd be like, okay, we're going to wash your mouth out with soap. And sure enough, we'd have to suck a little brick of soap, and it was awful. I know.
What? Isn't this poisonous?
I think that's why a lot of people are kind of off their, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much imbalance now, and I think it's because we all sucked soap when we were a kid, and it's not healthy for you. It's just not. I wish this episode was about sucking soap, but I feel like I could tell this person who made a comment that they need some soap. For their mouth.
Yeah.
They do. Yes, yeah.
So what is the comment to share?
So, Hoshin, we in BC had our elections October, what was it? I don't even know
17th,
anymore.
I believe.
17th? Yeah. 19th was the final
19th,
day.
yeah.
Okay.
19th, yeah.
On voting night, and for those of us who are listening, BC's, it kind of came down to between the BC Conservatives, the New Democratic Party, NDP, and the Green. Well, as of this recording, Monday, October 28th, NDP is projected to win the election because it was a very close tie. But that's besides the point. The point is that the person running for the Juan de Fuca Malahat, her name is Marina Sapozhnikov, and I apologize, Marina, if I say that wrong. But she was interviewed election night. So the election night on the 19th by a university student, Vancouver Island University student, who was basically wanted to get, some journalism experience.
Insights.
Insights. And so the student starts talking about, she's been taking some Indigenous studies courses at VIU and how much she's learned from that. And that comment was what spurred this Conservative candidate to say the following. And trigger warning, if you are an Indigenous person, you've probably seen it in the headlines, but we don't want to re-traumatize you. So we are going to read her quote. So the quote is, they being Indigenous people, did not have any sophisticated laws. They were savages. They fought each other all the time. Not 100% savages, though, maybe 90%. End quote. And she goes on for quite some time on this interview, and it's all uploaded, like the interview of what she said. That's the comment we are dishing out, because that is a comment that is dehumanizing. It is downright
just lies,
and it is completely uncalled for, especially from a person who's running for political office. The other thing, Hoshin, she is an immigrant. This woman who ran for this office, she is an immigrant to Canada. This is why allyship and our knowledge as immigrants of Indigenous history, of Indigenous culture, of Indigenous people is so crucial to our integration. This isn't secondary. I think it's up there on the place with finding a sustainable house to stay in. I feel like it is so essential, because what happens when you come to Canada and you have a single-sided story being taught to you the whole time, you begin to believe it and you regurgitate the filth that comes out that is embedded in Canadian systems.
Absolutely. I mean, the Canadian immigration system does not have any emphasis on learning the truth
No,
or learning about Indigenous history or
no.
culture. I
Mm-mm.
mean, even though we are literally come immigrating into their land that was
Exactly.
stolen from
Uninvited.
them,
Yeah.
uninvited, exactly.
Hmm.
And the fact that we're doing land acknowledgement, I believe that person have done land acknowledgement because, if you're a
You
public
would
figure, be in
think.
any public space to do any meeting in the government, you have to do
Hmm.
some sort of land acknowledgement. The
Hmm.
fact that this person, I absolutely guarantee that she had done that before, he still said words like that. Also says how performative sometimes this kind
Hmm.
of public setting,
Sure.
this kind of requirement, or to do land acknowledgement, the government, you do have to if you do public speeches and
Hmm.
spaces, and yet she is so ignorant
Yeah.
because
And
anyone with
just, yeah.
common sense mind will understand what it is.
Yeah, but again, I feel like it's a lot of ignorance too. I don't know how many people in
Mm-hmm.
her life that she's befriended or even sought out to have relationships with indigenous communities, leaders, elders, just people within her own community. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, she did not win I
Thank
believe the
God.
Wanda Fuca Malahat. I wrote to her directly. I found her email address, and I don't believe in dehumanizing anyone, but I do believe that accountability for statements like this needs to be taken,
Oh, absolutely.
right? Like you
She
can,
had to make apology.
I don't even know, has she apologized? I don't even
I
know.
don't think so. I don't see anything on that.
Yeah. And even if she did, that means absolutely jack shit if you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
take accountability and step down from the position the
Mm-hmm.
office that you are holding.
Mm-hmm.
I want to email John Rustad too, who is the leader of the Conservative Party for BC, and say,
Mm-hmm.
look, this person, you championed them, you endorsed them. And his comments were like, oh, we're just so deeply sad and appalled. You know what? BS. You know what? Because put your actions where your mouth is. Like, if it really upset you that she was representing your party by saying these
Mm-hmm.
atrocious things, you would
Atrocious.
have her dismissed immediately. A decent person would do that.
Exactly.
But no.
Like she
Hmm.
needs to go into some sort of like that. She maybe needs to go into that program that the student was talking about.
Yeah, I think
She
I think she
absolutely
needs
needs
to come
to.
out and be like, so I need to learn. Where do I go? And
It-
this is just it. Like, I appreciate sometimes people's ignorance and their bigotry is so front and center because you know what you're getting with them. Sometimes
Yes,
with
that
with
is
a
true.
lot of like white people or even politicians, they just skirt the issue all the time. You never
Oh, like
know where
Justin
they
Trudeau.
stand, right? Yeah, yeah,
Like Justin
exactly.
Trudeau,
Exactly.
like he plays this kind of, I'm a liberal, out for women, for equal rights, and he does a lot of like shitty
Just
things.
kidding. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think it's the moderate. I think even MLK said this, like it's the moderate white man that you have to be really careful because you don't know where they're
exactly.
going to stand. And they are easily subjected to buying into the lies and the narratives of of the people with like extreme discrimination and hateful comments and bigotry and things like that.
Yeah. In Chinese, there's like an idiom we really love to use in this scenario. Is
Yeah.
like this kind of like moderate white man that hide knives in their smiles.
Maybe
You
that's the
know?
title of this episode. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. They
Absolutely.
smile to everyone
Absolutely.
and think, "Oh my God, oh I love you, oh I love everyone." But then
Yeah.
behind every smile, there's a knife
Yeah. Yeah,
ready to
exactly.
strike.
Exactly. And the words that she used, I mean, this is not, I mean, it shouldn't have even been said in 18 whatever, that the original colonizers were using the same terminology, right? Like, you're going back to a time that just doesn't exist anymore. And what you're doing is you're re-traumatizing a whole group of people
Like also
all
the fact
over again.
And then the fact that she is immigrant herself, understand,
I
like you
know.
also subject to discriminations and biases
Mm-hmm.
and this
Mm-hmm.
kind of, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
hate. And yet
Mm-hmm.
she was like, you know what? I should also reflect that kind of hate to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Because
insane to me.
it is. It is. At the same time, though, we all want power. We all want the
Yeah.
upper hand,
Oh my
right? We
God.
all want some kind of level of like control or some kind of, and we talked about this in one of our episodes. If you convince a white person that they're better than any person of color,
Yes.
you can have them say and do anything you want them to. And that's
Wow.
exactly what's here.
What is, if we kind of rephrase that also, if you convince that immigrant there's someone even worse than them, that they look down to. For example, in this case, for her, is Indigenous people.
Right.
And then she, will do anything.
Yeah.
She will not even realize that the white people are taking money out of her. Because she thinks there's someone else to blame, the Indigenous.
Exactly. And that's what I wrote to her in my email to her, asking her to resign, to step down from her position. I did. I said, you would be better off without this racism, not just for other people, but for yourself. Hands down. It's a cage, man. And you don't want to be swallowed up into it. Anyway. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. It's very loaded, this episode.
It is very loaded. And you know what? I'm going to include the BC Conservative contact for John Rustad and for
Everyone
Marina.
Email her.
Email her. And please don't be dehumanizing. Do not stoop to that level that they are already at.
We're better than that.
But you do call her out for the shit that she's espousing. And you do say that was uncalled for and call for a resignation, put pressure on those leaders, because this should not have a place. Like, we're done. We're so done with this. Can we just heal and move forward? Do you have to really just keep prying open wounds?
Or going back to colonial times, using colonial terminology. It's
oh my gosh,
man, we're 2024. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do we? You know what?
And if you're an immigrant, educate your damn self. Right?
Especially not your land. Oh my God. And you're immigrant yourself. You bring through things. You know what it is. You should have more empathy. You should be the one who be able to empathize with Indigenous, because you, in many ways, have been through what it is to be discriminated based on just who you are. Why you have to inflict that same pain to someone else is insane.
You know who was helping your ancestors when they came a long time ago, and the system and the European colonizers didn't want to have anything to do with you?
Indigenous.
It was Indigenous people and communities who reached their hand out. They didn't have to, but they did.
This person need to listen to some of our previous episodes, about Indigenous allyship, and listen to the stories of how Indigenous helped many immigrants groups.
Yeah. I'm going to tag you, Marina. We probably live in the same neighborhood. I don't even know. Let's have coffee and let's talk. I'm so serious. These kinds of statements, these racist comments hurt people. And I want to call you in. I'm calling you in, Marina. Calling you in. So let's do this. Yeah. So,
let's do this.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yes. And for people who are listening too, if you think anyone around you had the same mindset, send this episode to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And recommend some of our episodes. For example, we had an episode about Indigenous allyship. It would be great to recommend to those people.
Exactly.
Help them learn. Be a good friend.
Yeah. And get to know someone who is of an Indigenous background. Just listen.
Be curious.
And
learn from them.
Befriend them. Walk with them for a while. Let them narrate and fill in the gaps of information that are not told to you. It's got to start there too.
Yeah. Also, there's many places that have Indigenous cultural centers.
Just
go learn from yourself. Take that initiative for yourself. Just learn something.
Exactly.
Anyway,
it felt good to talk about that. It really did.
Again, very loaded. Pew, pew, pew.
Very loaded, but absolutely need to call out. That's what Dishes Out is about. It's not just about immigrants and the cultures that we bring. It's about the cultures that existed here since time immemorial. And we will always want to be a champion in that way.
Yes. Preach, baby.
Yes. Anyway. All right, Hoshin. Well, thank you. And thank you for those of you who are listening. And we will see you next Friday.
We'll see you next Friday.
Okay. Bye. Canadian Salad is written and produced in British Columbia, Canada by Hoshin Ho and Andrea McCoy. Theme music is by Naver Avityan from Pixabay.
I like oranges with my salad.